cut out the first 3 minutes if you're looking at this, Jonathan. Crystal, take your ass back over there. Coming over here and talking to me. I have 5 minutes of whatever. You gotta get me. I'm not getting ready, but y'all don't understand the type of monster that I decided to set up. It's definitely text you. Check your 18 different things that you contact me on, Kristen. You don't even at least call me 15 minutes and see where I'm at or how I'm doing. Will I come out home? Will I take it to grandma? You're a caretaker. You know these things, but we ain't gonna talk like this. So you, you gotta understand. Good morning. I did, and I'm here. Yeah, you're fine. Get off of this and look at your phones. Look at your phone. You say you can't. You can't. You can look up your phone if you get off this. I text like all 18 of your phones. I'm on. Please cut out the first 5 minutes, Jonathan. All right. Cut it off. So, okay, I did. Let me put my background on here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, let's see the other one. There we go. Nothing much. Thank you, landscaping. Getting ready to record our podcast on our podcast. That's into the wrong one. Thank you, Chill. Thank you for the birthday wishes, all y'all out there. I definitely put it on. Okay, I'll stop it. Oh wait, no, it's not. It said plus there. Send invite to the guests. I send it. I gotta click on it again. Just give me an option. Ooh, thank you for the cowboy hat. Stir the fudge. Stepfather. You love your stepfather. Okay. STFU. Stepfather does full unity. I guess so. All right. Y'all need to catch me. Y'all know where to catch me at. Dale, what's up? I don't know what she's doing. This is her later. Oh, no, hit me with that. Yeah, let's see. Dang, I didn't add it. I definitely added it. All right. All right, we're doing our podcast live right now or something like that.
Something to that effect. How we feeling today?
Feeling fine.
Love to hear it. It's just so weird. It doesn't say that I'm live on YT. It doesn't give me the little red, you cannot click my face. Like nobody can come in through the lives this way for me. So interessante. I'm on every part of the welcome in. Thanks so much. We're trying to figure out if YT is going to show me or just our friend C. Come on in, say what's up to your crew. You know how we do. We got a few topics for you. Who you talking to? We talking about some money, talking about the moves, talking about making moves. Talk data to me. You know what? If you want to entertain the people, feel free. Get your coffee, get your tea, and get ready. Dang, I should have warmed it up even more. This ain't gonna make it. It's not hot enough, y'all. I like it when it's scorching. Thanks so much for coming in. Make sure you say what's up in the chat. We got a few different platforms that we're on. So Chicago John over here and Chris D Creates, CRYSD Creates. Come on in, meet me, meet my man C, and let's, talk some data to me. I'm working on it, y'all. Okay. We just changed the name of the show, so all of my cool lines don't work. So we're figuring it out, and it's going great. Talk data to me.
Fun fact, none was cool, but guess what? It's cool now. So there we go. So.
This guy, you're lucky you can't hear him, honestly.
You're lucky. You're lucky. All
Welcome in.
right.
Thanks so much for joining us. Talk data to me here with Chicago John and Chris D over in the crib. You already know we talk about the coin and the content. We talking about all things AI. Basically, you can just talk data to me. So how's the day today, John? What are we talking to the peeps about? We already know that we got quite the agenda for the podcast this week. How we starting?
Well, hey, good morning and afternoon or wherever you guys are. So, like I said, we had definitely decided we got a name. It's Talk Data. Talk Data to me. That's mean anything. The funny thing is about the data part, we can actually flip that out. Talk money to you. Talk finances. Talk uh, health. But today we either talk communication and love. So we talk love. We can talk whatever we need to because we are multifaceted people, especially people that go online and do some things on the internet, do things as far as making content and trying to figure out what content is. So we having a broad appeal at the same time niching down to those creatives individuals out there, and that's what we do here with Talk Lit. So I'm happy that I'm joined here with Crystal and stuff like that. So you know. and we should be being you should be listening to us on a podcast coming soon that's already created, pushed forward. Thanks to the power of delegation. Because if you don't delegate, then you ain't going nowhere. You'd be like, okay, so, but that's good. So we already got all these things happening and going forward with everybody. You know, uh, so. But yeah, I'm excited though. I'm excited to have this weekly thing with you. I felt bad that we missed Thursday. I feel bad if all our Thursday people out there who normally like to catch us on Thursday and do things with us. But it happens. Things go on. Life goes on. Christo, she was out there, in Florida, doing stuff in Florida. What were you doing out in Florida? Were you
You
eating those
know,
iguana tacos?
I didn't get to try the iguana taco. I was hoping I was gonna find my own version of a tenderism. Which one is the one with the meat? Not the weird thing, just the deliciousness, not the whole talking about
Ten-
trends. That's not the trend I wanted, okay? Uh,
You wanted tenderness on guanas. Is
you
that
know what? You know what? We're just
what the
I meant
tenderness got to do with Florida?
no, I was saying it was a joke. I was trying to lead into the trends. You gotta just sometimes just go with it and nod and laugh. Like, God dang.
You know what? Maybe I'm
You trying to
neurodetergent. I got neurodetergent blood in me, so who knows? I may be missing out on some of your signaling or your things. So you got to forgive me on that. So
you know what?
I
It's understandable. No. We're always talking about the trends, talking about what's going on. We've got a whole trend desk here for you at Talk Data to Me. So welcome in if you haven't joined us before. Thanks so much. Chicago John and Chris D creates on all platforms. Welcome in. We're talking about what we searched this week, what's got you stopping the scroll. Is it comments over creating? What is the biggest metric that most people are looking for? It used to be followers, but now it's really engagement, right? So, are you talking about? I don't like when you do that because, like, I can
oh,
see you.
you can see me.
I
Look,
know
y'all,
for
this
the
is
people on the podcast, you might be missing us live, but Chicago John, it's hard. It's hard because he's hilarious and also he knows so much. So sometimes I think he has so many ideas that he doesn't even know that I'm actually talking about what we were going to discuss. And he's looking at me like I'm crazy. So I just thought I would call it out. Back
okay.
to you.
This is this is every day. Every day I look at you crazy. So every day is normal for us to be stuff like that. Of course. Look, you guys don't know behind the scenes. We always be doing these things where we have this order.
Why does it always happen when we're live too? Can you see them? What's before the title and all that? Can you
Are
see
we
the
on case one Valentine
tr
Day text?
you have to go down, down.
I'm
No,
down.
you have to go to the agenda. It has all of it together, not just your script. It's 5 things: trend desk, AI in real life, money moves, travel and lifestyle, and love and communication.
Okay, we trying to. Okay. I see.
He always blaming me, y'all.
Okay, wait. You said
Why
what
don't we
search?
end it one more
What did
time?
you do?
Why don't we just start over? Poor C. She not gonna want to cut this.
I think she should leave it in just to see. I mean, that's what podcast is about, especially the first five.
It's true. It's true.
Um, but yeah. Uh,
Do you like it? Do you want to talk about AI in real life? You only want to talk about AI and love and communication, and then you can start there, and we can go
no, no, no.
from the
We start
bottom
number
to the
one, the
top.
trend desk. I mean, look at that. Like
Okay.
we're here sitting at our desk with each other. Me and Christy, D, Christo, and sometimes being co-workers. We're digital co-workers. Together. It's like the only thing we have digital HRs, I guess. And I guess if you do have a different digital HR, I don't know who we're gonna report to. I
True.
mean, yeah, we can
It's
report
usually
to.
me.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good. I mean, we can do that and stuff like that. So, but working with our coworkers here and having our digital workspace and stuff, we always, we use it going live with each other to kind of catch up with each other, like what is really happening and what's showing up this week. Like especially if you want to talk about, what are people searching up and things going on. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen too much of anything pop up besides AI and computers and like robots. Now they got robotic stuff happening. You heard about the robots in China where they're actually doing real dance moves, karate moves, real
Recording
moves,
our podcast.
you know, that kind of stuff. So but like I said, that's what I've seen. And then also, of course, you got there's some big talk right now going back and forth with Claude 4.2, I believe. I don't know, which is one of the things that are happening as far as like people saying like, okay, everybody drop everything, let's move to Claude, and everybody trying to realize which way to go to. So, that kind of stuff, when I talk to when we have these desk conversations.
I do love being able to talk about what we can go back and forth on the trend desk, what has come across the desk. You already know we talk about trends as far as certain platforms. Obviously, we are live on TT, thank you, Boo, and live on YT. So we see those trends a little more, a little quicker, and a little faster than we would, let's say, over on the Meta side. But let's be honest, most of the time they come from TikTok, right? The dances, the songs, the quick, funny things that people say, and especially the audios. So if you're looking for some great things to put in the background, some music or something, or, what's something funny that somebody says, for example, never being alone as a Black person. If you know, you know. If you don't know, go check out my last post over on TT. I'll put it up on the FB for the peeps as well. But we all have certain things, certain jokes that from each platform. But I think the biggest ones, they come from TT. They come from the tickety tockety.
You know,
Um,
I would love to know which one, who has it first. Twitter versus TikTok, like one of the T's. Because I think it's an arm race in knowledge of who get their information out. We all know that one of those, they both are either on top of where they need to be. The other thing is we don't even understand like who. We do understand that Facebook is usually always last. Supposedly Instagram, and then it's Instagram above it. And then you got everybody else, YouTube. I definitely can say YouTube is like probably the third place where you can get the information, depending on if you're on the shorts. If you're on the video, probably maybe a little bit slower, but it may have a little bit more clarity. So if you're just trying to get like on the go, trending, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, right away. Those are the places you need to go
It's
right
so
away.
true. When everyone was trying to figure out if someone actually passed away, or like the big government things that were dropping, like the immediate, let me confirm it. You're right. It was going to Twitter. It really was. Now, I feel like if you're a creator and doing fun things or funny things, or then maybe some of those trends are coming from TikTok first. But I agree. It's really sad. It
Mhm.
hurts that it's in Elon's internet, but that's the world we live in.
Well, you work with some pretty deplorable men anyway, so
Not
I think.
untrue, but I mean, all men. So, besides mine, of course.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um,
See, speaking of our loves, skipping down to number 5, since we were talking about our loves and talking about AI, sometimes the relationship, you got to work on it, and the reason that I'm able to make my friend kind of throw up here is because I am so in love, but what is funny about that is that it takes some work, okay? So sometimes I use good old ChatGPT to make sure that I sound cutie, CD, when I send some loving but maybe strong words. Do you know anything about that? Changing things or using your AI to maybe sound a little sweeter or nicer? Like maybe you need to send a message to a lady employee and you need to make sure that you don't sound like your angry self.
no,
Know
I'm gonna
anything
tell her
about
that.
that, John?
Absolutely not. I'm gonna make sure that she knows I'm angry at her. Like, look, I'll tell you. I'll tell a lady that I'm angry at her. Like I said, I don't have to see. I don't have to worry about saying something inappropriate like "Hey, sugar," whatever, like that in the email.
Sure. Sure.
Now my tone may come off like, look, man, you didn't do your fucking. You need to do your work. So you need, like I'm done with you on this.
He doesn't
But
mind. He
but
doesn't mind being strong, but he's not going to
absolutely
be
not.
a creep. Yeah, we know that. Nobody's worried about about the creep side. But
Yeah.
some people might need you might need to soften the approach, soften the tone up, and ChatGPT can help you with that.
I, now I agree. No, look, I really do agree with you when it comes down to certain things. I think it really depends on what you're using it for. Like I have used it for different patterns. I remember I may or may not have went on a trip or something like that, and I've had some different ladies texting me about different things and wanted to meet up, and I was able to sometimes like I told her earlier, I don't really catch on to certain signs or certain behaviors out there. So I'm just like, let me throw this to ChatGPT to see which one of these are a more like a person who actually interested in me. And I did do that, and then it was able to pick up on some of the text to say like, this one is a high chance that she really, really do like you because of X, Y, Z, because of all this other stuff that she did. And then like these other two, this one's a gold digger. This one just she talking to you for business. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because maybe like I get I said I don't want to be that. I'm already in that age. I don't want to be that man that's sitting at Hooters or something like that, and the lady say, "Hey, sweetie," and I think I'm in love. So I always fear me. Like that's that fear that always runs through. So and then all the time people want to talk about like, oh my god, they like you because they blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't know that. Like I don't know. She probably by the time I know somebody actually had a thing for me, she's already got married and down the block and all this other stuff. So, but yes, to answer your
You
question,
know what? Maybe you could run it through ChatGPT. ChatGPT could help him know and read into some innuendos, if you will, perhaps.
definitely, yeah,
I've
definitely.
seen people say that they sound kind of dry, so the ChatGPT can actually make them sound a little more emotional, a little more loving. So that might be something to consider.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying though. I was saying that I used it to kind of pinpoint how they're coming off from across to me. So yeah. Now
Yeah, well,
for
you're not
using
doing
it,
a great job if you can't tell that the lady's flirting with you. Ladies,
well,
if you're out
ChatGPT,
here trying to flirt with Chicago John, come on in here and catch him live, okay? We'll help you
yeah,
out. We'll help him out too. He's got a plenty of wing women out here, okay?
yeah, I would not
Shout out
know,
to the
and
wing women.
especially some of them if they do are flirting, then I'm like I wouldn't know. Like I'm bad. I'm bad. You
He'd
gotta.
just be like, "Are you a live host?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
hap—"
pretty much. Like, what's your three pillars? You know, do
He's
you
like,
have
"You need
that?
to work on search engine optimization. Do you even know
Yeah,
what that is?"
right. Yeah, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't, but hopefully ChatGPT. If once we can get ChatGPT into the Ray Ban glasses, then I think I'll be able to go off her, off of how she's doing whatever. So
That's another great addition over on for Numero Dos to how we could use AI in real life because ChatGPT, it's going to be in the glasses soon. They've already got actual apps within ChatGPT that you can use. They've got your Expedia, they've got it depends on what you're using, but they've got Canva directly through it. They've got Instacart directly through it. So you could go in, put your recipe in there, Instacart take your order and deliver it to your house. Okay. Like it's only a matter of time.
yeah, yeah, they are going to do it. So hopefully, you think matchmakers are going to be put out of a job? I mean, we just got off of Valentine.
Ooh,
So,
that's a really good point. I wonder if they're going to have like, what's that one? Like a Bumble inside of it. And so, like, based on the topics that you use in ChatGPT, oh my, wait, that's a, wait, that's an idea. Okay. Cut that out. Don't put that in the podcast. See,
she got to. It's okay. She got 18 things on her plate, so Crystal not gonna get to it. By the time she get to it, it's already be invented. So yeah. So until
that's
Crystal
funny.
matters falls in love with ChatGPT telling her to do one thing and get that thing done and move on to the next, then we
We're
don't
doing
worry.
it. He's telling me right now, friends over here on TT, that I don't do all the things that we plan in ChatGPT, but we are doing some of them, right? We are currently producing that podcast that we said we were going to start.
You know how they
Gotcha.
say it take two to tango. Well, Three's a whole ass dance. So, but we're gonna keep on going. Keep on going.
I'm not mad at it. Well, thank you so much for joining us over here. Talk Data to Me with Chicago John and Christy creates. No matter what platform you joined us on, make sure you link up with us. Depending on what time, we might even be live. So come on in, come love on the live, or let us know in the chat where you're joining us from, how you found us, and have you been using AI in your real life? Has it been helping you with your job, with your actual business, with your profession? Maybe it's been helping you in the real world, right? So we were talking about love, we were talking about how you could use it to even find trends. But there's a lot of places where AI is, where it's failing as opposed to where it's helping. So we would love to know what you have been finding with your findings on ChatGPT. Thank you so much. Or maybe you're using Claude AI. What were you saying about Claude? Are you loving it?
I think it's pretty cool for the most part, but I think a lot of people haven't changed up what they need to do on ChatGPT. Like I said, I think it's good that everybody needs to find that thing that works for them, but we can't be. I'm not going to keep running back and forth now, unless there's something really drastic where ChatGPT tell me. I point a picture of the apple and it says that is a piece of steak, I'm like, all right, we're done and stuff like that.
Thank you so
At this
much.
point, like I saw one note that somebody said you need to take it off of auto. A lot of people left their chat GPT on auto instead of putting it on thinking. 'Cause thinking does take a little bit longer, but it does a little bit more of a process as well too. So doing those type of things probably will help improve. Now, if you haven't paid and pick one, then yeah, you should experiment with all the free ones out there and see which one's best for you. But if you already got your money invested, I mean, like I said, I mean, you can leave, but it's just like at this point, I know there's a difference and there's a barrier. You know, it's a case study. So thank you, thank you. The bro, yeah, for sure. I'll do hang out with your mama there, but yeah, so if you are going to find those different items or the different things to do, um, I would say stick with your ChatGPT, stick with your Gemini, stick with your Claude. If you are a person who has enough bandwidth to go back and forth or to move up, because something else could happen, going to move back. Like I said, I like just having two. I'm lucky enough to have Gemini for cheap for $8 a month instead of the 20. So Gemini, I can go nowhere, and then that extra $20 because I'm not going to pay. If you had to pay for all three of them, that's $6 a month. So and that's the cable right there. So you do have to make your decision. So if you do it, just stick with it. And if you feel like it's not doing the other thing, go to the other one.
I would agree and also disagree.
Okay, what you disagree with first?
Well, I don't disagree all the way. I definitely think you need to kind of hone in on one, but I was very surprised because we are normally on the same page about that. I am not going to really try and jump back and forth, but I implore you, especially if you are building the business, thinking about like literally setting things up with systems, to check it out on Claude. Just take what you put in chat and go put it in Claude, especially you, specifically you. Trust me. Trust me.
Okay. Yeah,
And this is
and you know,
not
and
yet sponsored by Claude AI, but shout out to Talk Data to Me and let us know because we're here for you.
yeah, if you're a small AI business and you want to sponsor some people, go ahead. Come, we'll try your
No
your things
small,
out for
no
this year.
small. We shoot for Delulu, which means we're going to go for Claude. Claude AI. If you want to sponsor incredible Black creators in tech, shout out to Talk Data to Me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, but like I said, I'm glad you disagree too, because we do. You need to have. I do need to have somebody to push against it. Just like that's how we make these. That's how we make this podcast work and stuff like that. That's how we make a lot of stuff. We do push back and forth. I can't have you be a yes person to me for everything, and I can't say no to you for everything as well. So we got to have a good a balance, and you do need to have a balance of some of both. So I'm glad, and that's why I'm happy for you to be my co-host on Talk Data to Me. At the end of the day, it's really about us trying to better ourselves and see what is best for us and the people like that out there like you guys. Because we can't be recommending things to you unless we try it or we experience it or we know what's up. Because how can you trust us if we don't challenge our own selves with it. So I have challenged myself too. I've paid the $20 just for this month, just to play mess around with Claude. One thing I did, because of, if you're following me on my YouTube, I just released a YouTube video uh, about resumes and doing resumes and whatnot, and having ChatGPT kind of boosting it up and better ways to make resumes that way. And doing it with Claude, for certain interviews and job interviews, this is a high level role that I'm going after. Um, it had like talk track back and forth, and we were just doing a really good talk track. I didn't get a chance to really do that on ChatGPT, so I kind of missed that opportunity. But I just said, hey, let me just try this on there. It knew what I was doing, a little bit about me. It heard the cadence of how I was speaking and said, hey, this is great. Let's do X, Y, Z, and changing those little things. And it gave me a little bit more confidence as well too of practicing. I mean, it was really great. After a while, it was like, hey, like, you've done all this stuff. You can definitely do this. You just need to, you know, clean it up, and that's what we talking about. What you need to be doing with ChatGPT or any other whatever you want to use. It's really just a tool to get you better or to sharpen what you got going on right there. If you're using it just to end all be all, then you're not going to go that far. So it's just like the internet. We all got it. But look, if we all got it, then why don't y'all rich with it? Everybody got the internet.
That's a great point, though.
Yeah.
Are you using the AI in your real life? Are you using it to help you make moves, to maybe learn about something? I know a lot of us were even talking about how you could use AI to help you save money. You've got a couple YouTubes up about that exact thing, how it helped you in your real life, and that is a money move right there.
Mhm.
That what were you ordering? What was it again? Tell the people.
Well, I made two different videos. One was about Chipotle or takeout orders and breaking it down so you can not overeat or over order. So it's on my YouTube channel if you want to find it. It's there. The other recent one I did was about my Verizon bill. Working on a Verizon bill or AT&T bill for my father and my family, just to clean up the fat to see I'm not charging for things extra. And a lot of that stuff came down to common sense. It was like if you were able to print out those bills and just kind of sit there and take the time to read it, which some people don't have because they got families, they got things going, their life too hectic. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for you all or even myself, but it just life happens. So, I test my knowledge against the machine, and the machine said almost about the same thing, that I did. I think I had just a little bit more insight, but at the end of the day, for somebody who had nothing that can drop it in there and it can clean it up versus a person who worked there for over 8 years with five winning circle awards and top performance stuff like that, you can't really argue with the results on it. So, would I have been if I was a salesman at Verizon, would I be intimidated by that? Like, heck no. I would just know a better way of getting better customer service to the people. So, but that's how you make those money moves. You take that, you go it against the experts. If the experts sound like they know what they're talking about, and you sound like you know what you're talking about from the ChatGPT, then hey, that's the sweet spot right there. You save a little bit of money. What do you know about saving money and using chat, or just saving money in general? I mean, you're a money person. You're a tech girl. Now you're not like AI obsessed like I am, and you are to an extent, but you're more like you're the scary one. You're the Bitcoin girl. You're the NFC girl. You're the girl or woman, I should say. You're the Bitcoin. Like, what about that? Because when I hear that, we all roll our eyes. So So what about
It's
that?
a really good point. A lot of people, we don't learn about finance in school on purpose. It is designed that way. So we can't expect them to teach us, and AI is the perfect thing to use for any kind of research in that way. If you want to learn about stocks, bonds, ETFs, now is definitely the time. We all see what this administration is doing, what can happen. We have all lived through multiple crises now, most likely, depending on your age. And the government isn't going to save you. So what you probably might have seen is that a lot of people are putting a lot of money in where it seems like it's an absolute crash, we're not prepared for that. And a lot of people that are living paycheck to paycheck, they're not ready to invest when everything goes to hell. Um, but that is the time, right? So if you don't know that and you've never done any research, AI is the perfect place to start because technically you're not really going to get a lot of bias, especially if you're asking for facts. So things like what is an ETF and what are money market accounts and what is a high yield savings account versus what does my bank give me? Um, those are big questions you want to answer, especially if you just have your money sitting in the bank. You could most likely I I'm no financial advisor. So what we always say is that we are financial enthusiasts that are always learning. I'm not here to teach you, but I can show you a bunch of resources that will get you to that point. Number one is going to be AI, right? So
But
not
Krista, like,
knowing a lot of times you don't know the questions to ask. I'm sorry, that's what I was going to say. So I feel like AI can help you down a road when you don't really know where to go.
okay. Like I said, I really wanna, sit and do that and go and ask ChatGPT. Because that's the thing, ChatGPT will not tell you how to make money. It's not gonna give you those answers unless you know what to ask. But that's why they need somebody like you, Crystal, especially as we go forward with this type of conversation in the podcast. We wanna see those proof. We need to start seeing, because a lot of people don't hop on until it's too late. And then by the time it's too late, you go into one of those gurus and everything, and they're like, this is what we, blah blah blah. But like for you,
Yeah.
who actually is caring and actually, no, in 2 months from now, we have an episode and you showing a receipt.
I
You
love
can
that
even challenge
idea,
me.
but I would never do that, right? Because I don't work like that. I don't work like that for social media. I don't guarantee
Okay,
anybody a certain amount of followers, a certain number of engagement, and I'm not going to
yeah,
guarantee you that your number in your money is ever going to go up.
I
I'm
just
actually going to
want.
guarantee that it's going to go down. But if you're ready to learn and do the work, then there's a lot of research and reading and understanding that you can do. And that will be your receipt. It's the
Okay.
knowledge, what you do with the knowledge. You gonna tell them the same thing. We can only bring them to the water. I can't make them
Mhm.
drink. And I certainly can't tell you with all of these money makers and the number one thing you will learn is that everything is manipulated. We all know that we're manipulated by the government. You don't think they're doing that in the market, So yes, they are.
They do it on
But
social media, so it's like, why wouldn't it?
exactly, such a good point. Oh my God, the literally the media. So if you're not ready to like ride a wave, right? A lot of people say if you don't have money to go to a casino with, right? That is what they would say if you were going into crypto. They would say if you don't have 3 months of emergency fund, that you should not be necessarily investing in um, questionable markets, right? But if you're
Right.
talking about buying gold, having having savings in something that is usually seen as steady, right? I mean, we've seen countries where their entire money blew up. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that. But, where the money is worth nothing, it goes down as people are standing in grocery store lines. We are not working with that type of system at this moment, right? But anything can happen anytime, which is why I'm nobody's financial advisor. But I will tell you that if you got the money in the bank, you already know you could be making more money on that money by just having a high yield savings account. Start there. Find out what
Well,
you're getting in your returns.
we'll see. You know what? I hear definitely. I agree with you. I agree on other points. Just like when people come to me and they be like, "Hey, tell me the secret so you can yeah, I'll say you want to be
Go
famous, don't you?"
viral. Yeah. Oh,
Right? It's
yeah. You
like,
good job.
so I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna maybe I'm gonna be like everybody else. When let me get my tax money, and I'll be willing to invest maybe like $500 or $1,000 into
You don't
something.
need to invest yet as far as like um eh, yes, you would be taking your savings, what you would be thinking of as savings, right? And putting it in something that you just don't touch. That's how you make more money. You don't take it out. You don't have to need it. That's what happens. People can't leave it in for it to compound. Compound interest is how we really make money. So the more you put in is how you make more. The longer it's in is how it grows, right? That's why the Berkshire Hathaways, the people that have been in for 60, 80 years, they got a lot on us, right? But that's why a lot of us need to be thinking about what our nieces and nephews have. That's why a lot of us need to be thinking about what our kids have, what our potential kids have, what your kids that are already born have, what you have, what are you retiring with? A lot of us got another 40, 50 years, hopefully, to be investing. And then,
I know I
hopefully
got
leaving something for your
130.
kids. Hey, let's go. He's
Yeah,
going to be one
so
of those
we're definitely gonna be like
heads
that.
that floats in the water, like on Futurama or something. Got you.
Actually, I just saw a video too. Like if I can't wait till people can start making money off of funeral like burials in space burials, where you can just put
Mm,
the body in there and then just send it off and everything of that.
that's for sure coming. Have you
Yeah,
seen the Japan one? Was that real? I saw that all over the internet, but I didn't actually see it happen. I just saw photos that they can make you into they put you in the soil with a tree and then you grow with the don't roll your eyes. I thought it was beautiful.
oh, I didn't wear my eyes. I sorry, I got a message.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I'm so
That
sensitive.
wasn't
So
against
say
me
don't
that
take
time.
anything personal. Okay. That's one of
I'll
the
let you know.
rules.
I'll
That's
let you
one of
know.
the rules. Please do. Let me know when
What's
I'm
our safe
supposed to be
word?
offended.
What's our
Oh,
safety word to the podcast?
sassafras?
Uh,
Did we have one?
no,
That's my
definitely not
safe
no
word
damn
for someone
sacrifice.
else.
You know what?
Oh.
If I ever say I love black olives, that is my safe word for anybody that I'm working with out there. So
But
just
what does
know
the
if I,
safe word mean for you? Black olives means stop talking, start over. What does it mean to do?
it's an emergency stop button.
It's an
So
emergency. It's a red
it's just
button.
an. I think it's you have it's just that's what a safe word does is emergency stop everything that's going on.
I'm
So
down. Okay.
all
Because
right, cool.
I hate
But
black olives as well.
all right, cool. So if you ever hear me say I love it, just know one thing: Chicago John hate black olives. So, but that's
Of
just my
course, he
lifestyle
hates
and stuff
something
like that.
hating something black, of course.
Let's travel back to when we're going over here for out of that. We don't want to
Well
give our
played.
our YouTube audience ammunition because they these monsters.
They
They
don't
love
need
it.
it. You're right. They don't need any help.
They can bring that
Uh,
fight over to our TikTok, I guess, if they want to be crazy like that. But
Shout out to you over on the YT. For all the people that don't hate on us, thank you so much for showing the love. We have got quite the racisma over here on this app, but and equally so much love. So we are on here on a different day. Normally, we're here for your hump day humor, little midweek boost on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. EST, 12 p.m. CST. So make sure you join us next week live, live, live. But if you're watching us right now, let us know in the chat. Have you used the AI for your real world lifestyle? Have you used it for perhaps your travel lifestyle, like John and I have been yeah, lucky to be able to have? I am definitely slowed down on the travel life these days with the baby life, and just had my first travel since I had the child alone, which was pretty incredible. And I actually did use AI. I used it to look up some restaurants, to look up some hotels. We actually use TikTok and YouTube. So it's really interesting how people are searching these days. You're not so much in the Yelps and the open tables, depending on your age,
you remember
right?
Foursquare? You remember that one?
I do remember. Now I loved Foursquare though,
I love
because
Foursquare too.
yes, I thought that was so good. Honestly, FB wants to be them, but like they're too creepy.
But yeah, I mean, I wonder what happened to Foursquare because Foursquare it had it all. Like all you have to do is just have a discount for something just to show up there.
Yes.
I think that's that was the edge that they had over there. It was when they had the discount over what you call it like there was this one place. Now I got into it with this sandwich restaurant because they did me dirty. But what happened was I went over. Like if you would go there the most times and you eat the most there, you can get like a free shake. You become the mayor there and you get a free shake. And I went there. I spent at least $20 all the time. Ate there and I did it every day to get my free shake. And it didn't have a limit on it, but I always spend money. Like I never went in there and asked for free.
Just got
So
through right.
the one time I went in there after I spent my $20 for the free shake thing because I was there every day. They were like, sir, we can't do that. It says, I'm like, where does it say like once? It just said like continue. So yeah, I got into it. I just
Right,
left my check.
you let me keep buying it, right? You let
Right,
me keep
they
coming
sure
back.
did. I was like, give my money, but I don't want this damn sandwich. I just
Right,
left the
we've
sandwich and I
done
walked out.
that, yeah.
So
But that is really interesting because, I feel like, especially for me, I'm always traveling fork first, and so I was usually looking up places on back in the day, an open table, a Yelp, now Google Maps, but really it's been TikTok and YouTube, and now with AI, being able to do my whole itinerary through it and put my itinerary coming from this airport to go to this hotel and I want to go to this restaurant. What can I do and in what way can I make that happen? Game changer.
well, I need to work because I am very particular. If you haven't noticed, I'm particular with people, and when it comes down to the TikToks and stuff like that, I'm still trying to find the people that I enjoy seeing the information for. Because um, I can't stand young people, especially young people that look like me. This is I guess my hating on the black folk. They just be sitting there. They're like, ooh, ah, oh my, all right, brother. That is JJ Fish, okay? Everybody know what JJ Fish tastes like. Don't you act like we got the finest hood oil from Crenshaw. You can taste, and look, don't worry about it, white people. I got y'all too. I can't stand the women out there like, oh my God, come take one of the best burgers I've ever had. It called Mikhail Daniels, and it called a dollar menu burger. It's only $1.99, and it's so good. I'm like, no, like I can't. Like if I hear you overacting and overdoing anything for it, I'm done. Like I just like I have to not go out of spite. You gotta, so find
I
what
think
works for
that's
you.
interesting from you specifically because you, especially comedian, entertainer, you know what it's like to have to turn it on. It's like I saw this girl, she came in and said, have you ever had Raising Canes? Look at this Raising Cane sauce. And she dipped that thing so pretty. You're like, that looks, whoa, what is that? Tomato ketchup and mayo?
I am not. This is not grown man or grown woman Grace Corner. Okay, don't talk to me like you're stupid. And that's the thing. That's what I don't like. Like
Mm.
we have all eaten regular fast food and that kind of stuff. I don't see. I like the comedy and I like the humor, but do that for stuff that I would never probably eat for like a $4,000 meal or something. Or just say, oh, okay, this place is good. I don't need you to overly sell McDonald's. Okay, I don't need you to overly sell whatever. If it's a small place, but I don't want you to be like, oh my God, I found this really quaint place. It was in a hood of Chicago where, there was a lovely a crackhead that was sitting outside of a water pipe. And when I saw the light hit him, I'm like, shut up, stop it, stop.
If you
Just
don't go up into churches and get you some damn chicken, girl.
right, like just stop it. But that's me. That's me. That's so. But I'm glad that's working out. I mean, now TikTok into this new feature called Local, where everybody freaking out thinking that TikTok know where they live, even though they buy stuff on TikTok shop and they already gave up their address and they gave up your ID already, so they already got all that anyway. So who cares? TikTok knows exactly where you are anyway. But anyway, the Local is a feature on it that shows you all the local areas in your city and stuff like that. I think up to a point. So that is pretty cool. So you can at least scroll by. So even annoying people like me or people who get annoyed, I can actually turn it down and just see. I just want to see the menu. I just want to see what the food look like. I just want to see what the place look like. That's it. Like I said, I don't. I don't want to say
Well,
like,
you're
oh
an
my
old
God,
head then. You might need to go back to Yelp.
I want Foursquare. Okay, I want my
I
discount because I
love
went there.
Foursquare. I love Foursquare. But I'm telling you, Yelp gives discounts. If you Yelp was and Yelp Creator was a thing. They used to do creator events. They might still be a little thing. We gonna find out about the tea. Yelp, you still out there? You still doing creator events? Should we be doing this thing? I know Google Map be giving you stars, acting like that does something, but I ain't never seen
Man,
nothing from
they
it.
Look, Google, they when it comes down to food and traveling, Google Maps act like, hey, guess what? Do you know that this one you got 1.4 million views with your post alone and stuff like no, I don't. I do not have 1.4. Okay.
How about monetizing that view though? If you you so pressed on my reviews because it's so interesting. Like they build these apps and then they're run by us, right? I mean, technically, Open Table doesn't work without each company going in and paying Open Table, paying Uber, paying DoorDash to be a part of it. Like the third party system, the whole thing is a racket, right? But you need it because that's what everybody uses now. If everybody's going to go on DoorDash, then everybody's going to go on DoorDash. So either you give them your 20% or you miss the 20% and you start trying to push it on your own. I mean, they took
Yeah.
over. It happened quick and it's about to happen again with the AI. If you're not already on the app, and that's going to be huge too for people to make sure that their stuff is
Yeah.
getting pulled up by AI.
If you're not on the app, then you're gonna have to be sitting there waiting for a Keith Lee to come and catch you and save you, which is that could be a lottery ticket in itself. I mean, Keith Lee, he does a really lot. He does a lot for the local food company. I mean, local food businesses and things of that nature. But that's not a business plan. Waiting for Keith Lee to come save your business is not a business plan at all. Okay, anything that's just like you waiting for insurance money to hit, waiting for a tax money. That is not. You need to have a true plan. Now, granted, if you start throwing extra things, you may need to get some of those uh, 18-year-old titty boppers in there to come in and do a review on your food. They may like it or may not like it or whatever like that. So,
It
but
doesn't matter. Do it. Try it. Yes.
yeah, you
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 should
definitely need a
definitely
strategy.
need your own strategy. And if you don't have your own strategy, make sure you reach out to Chris D Creates and Chicago John because we can actually help you with the social media strategy for your business, for your company, and maybe even just for yourself if you are your own brand, right? We have a lot of creators, a lot of entrepreneurs in the space. So please make sure you reach out and we will get you set up with your own strategy and make sure that you're not just out here throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, now that may be a review or something like that. Like, oh my god, I went to a place called Spaghetti at the Wall. I tasted the shards. I think the chef was Armenian because he was yelling in a language that I didn't understand as he threw a plate of spaghetti at my head. Luckily, I totally ducked because my husband Samuel was actually getting around on one knee to propose. Yeah, I am. I'm cantankerous. I am a cantankerous old man. Yes, I
You
am.
definitely just hit kvetching on over here, my friend. Guys, don't be mad at him. He still watches MSNBC. Okay, it's okay. You sit.
With Rachel Maddow. Thank you very much. And
Your
sometimes when I'm feeling
your
spicy, I
ally,
get some
Rachel
Fox
Maddow.
News. Yeah, I got to keep it fair and balanced.
Listen, we
That's
got
why
to
I
know
watch.
what they're doing on both sides. Thank you. I even go out to check out that creepy ass Truth Social every
I
once in
trust
a
the
while.
station that says it's fair and balanced. So if it's fair and balanced, I trust you and stuff.
Oh goodness, you probably out here thinking Truth Social is fair and balanced. Be careful. Don't believe everything you read, y'all, please.
I don't know. That was a good halftime show. They persuaded me.
I know the lip syncing of Kid Rock at that age, like wow, bravo, bravo.
Well, he needed to look at one of his statutory girlfriends out there to show him how to use TikTok properly. So I know he got a few of those.
Oh my God, we gotta get
Speaking of
canceled.
love in all the wrong places. That was a good.
Bravo.
I didn't even notice it. But
You gotta keep it going though. Now it didn't lead into it.
yeah, so
Speaking of
when you want to find, speaking of legal love and legal places of legal things, because the ChatGPT ain't gonna help you. It ain't gonna help you riz that young lady. So no, so this
thank
not for you, Kid
God.
Rock, but for
No.
regular adults and stuff like that. Like Crystal was talking about earlier, using AI and things or communicating. A lot of these things, they're going to start getting swept up with ChatGPT and work with ChatGPT. And the thing is, I'm actually making a little ruckus on LinkedIn because I kind of got a little fed up. I started seeing so many people talking on LinkedIn. They're saying like, I am so tired of people going to my page and dropping a ChatGPT comment on my page and everything like that. Where is the real imagination and stuff like that? And I'm looking, I'm like, one, you should be happy that anybody dropping comments on it. Now, especially if the ChatGPT comment is about what you're talking about, who cares? You know, that's for one. For two, she totally discount people who actually use it, like myself. I use it to get my thoughts in order, to get, to make sure I'm putting it out there. It's LinkedIn. It's a place where people who looking for jobs are out there. So do you want to be out there sounding crazy, having a whole bunch of misspellings and this, that, and the other, and you trying to get a job, and they go look at your page and they're like, "Ooh, like, okay, another job." Right. So, like, let's not act like LinkedIn is a place where we're like, "Hey, man, we're all family here. Let's all take off our shoes and cuddle in the bed with one another." That's who we are here on LinkedIn. No, no, LinkedIn. I'm not. And I don't mind getting sponsored by LinkedIn. So if you're listening to it, please, sponsor us, LinkedIn. But to say, for communication and using ChatGPT, I think it can go a long way. Now if you're only using the ChatGPT just to respond without putting your input, then hey, you are doing something wrong at that point. But I don't think a lot of people are doing that for people that they truly care about. Because if you're trying to as the young people say, riz somebody using ChatGPT without it, I'm pretty sure they're gonna know. Some people gonna know, and and that's why I don't use it for that. I do use it to break down what the meaning that this person said, and it does get it pretty right for that. So, like, I'm like, ooh, like, why did he say it that way? Does he? And they're like, oh well, she knows she said it because she didn't feel X, Y, Z. This is a sign of her wanting some longing for blah blah blah. It definitely does work. What about you? What do you feel like? Should you use ChatGPT to communicate?
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I like to almost word vomit, if you will, everything that is in my brain at once. And so that's a lot for people, but for an AI, I I am normal and fine. And it's okay that I had 60 different ideas. And I don't know how to put it out into an outline and maybe a business plan. And usually there's like a bunch of other things up in there too, and a dinner recipe and something else. So maybe trying to figure out like how to communicate back to my own self is helping me the most. And maybe I might have thrown it in when I was trying to like make up with my boo and I sounded a little snarky and I wanted to make sure I sounded sweet.
Yeah,
Don't tell
yeah.
her.
I mean, especially in different jobs. There's some people now. There's some jobs where they want you to use it because if you're in sales, you're trying to reach a CEO, you're trying to sell a $50,000 to $1 million item to it. Do you want it to sound like, like this is how I talk. This is who I am in here. Like, no, that business person want to see what's going on, what you trying to sell them, what they're talking to about. They gotta want to have clarity when they're reading it. Now, granted, should you make it like 18 pages? I don't think you should make anything 18 pages of anything. Using ChatGPT or not, and ChatGPT is kind of guilty of that too. Like, you let it, it'll make a whole dissertation for you of trying to communicate. Nobody want to communicate that way. You need to, like, if I do use it, I'm like, hey, let's make sure we keep it to 90 characters, keep it short, or at least one paragraph or something like that. Because
I
if
might
I could have
need to
said
use
it,
that. That's a big problem for me. My texts are usually paragraphs. I
I
like
don't
to
care.
voice text, so it's I
Yeah,
talk text how I talk.
yeah, I don't think anybody really want to read a page of stuff, no matter if it's handwritten or not. At least I don't. You send me a hand, you can send me the cure to like a time machine code or whatever like that. I am not reading that much. I'm not reading it.
There's
I'm
actually
not.
a joke about that. They say that they're gonna they tell people, like, you know how you'll go to see a recipe, but nobody'll read the blog, you just hit jump to recipe? Well,
Yeah.
every time we do that, it's probably, like, the cure to cancer and, like like, we could be missing so much because people don't wanna
And we're
read.
not gonna act like the ChatGPT is the only thing. Like, look, people were cutting and pasting when the internet came out. You know how many people stole from web pages, websites, other things that they cut, copy and paste have been around for a lot on the internet. You know, on the computer itself. Yeah, we're not going to act like ChatGPT is the only one. People have stolen or taken less, and then they had to manipulate. Oh, hell, I know I had to back in the day. Like I had to make a resume. I had to go take it from somebody else. I'm like, oh, that person said it a lot better. Clip, drop. The best thing now with ChatGPT is they actually work what you're saying in and make it a little bit more accessible. You know,
Personalized.
not accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, personalized. That's what I want to say. Yeah, thank you. Make it a lot more personalized. Then, cause if you look at people stealing stuff back in the day, you'll be reading 18 different ideas if you were looking at a paper. You know, especially some of you who graduated from college. Like I said, you know how many people were cheating. You know how many, a lot of y'all cheated. You know, the one I'm
That's
not talking
where the
about.
words came from. If you already knew the definition of the word, it sure ain't come out with AI. Y'all been having to cite your sources for a long time. You
Right.
can tell AI, I want sources from around the world. I want to make sure that these are somewhere not
I
just from
need
I still need my 3. Yeah, and I
Yeah, I need
don't
my
want them
three
from
peer.
American media, you know.
I need to make sure those three sources are saying the same thing and they coming at the with different information. I mean that a lot of people don't have that when it come down to how are they doing with college. I mean, in college you find out, and some in elementary school. So let me and then not discount it, but you do have to figure out what is going on. How are you going to do it? You got to cross reference with each other. Everybody doing the cross reference. It's gonna happen. So that's why when I work with ChatGPT, I'm like, hey, I do need my resources. Where you get this from? So I can see where they got it from. It's not the end all be all. So for you to be, so a lot of these, and the thing is, see, this is if I had more time, I would do a whole series about how LinkedIn is kind of like a different type of high school where the recruiters are like I would just say the varsity basketball team, and then you got the CEOs and the hiring managers, which is like the football team or whatever sports team you want to have. So when you got the recruiters out there, everybody they think the recruiters. Shout out to good recruiters, but your bad recruiters out there, y'all want to act like y'all God to the earth. All right, you guys want like look at them, look at these mortals want a job. Let me look at this face. You need one, okay? And let me give it to my friend. Hold on, I'm not even going to use this. Hey, I got a job for you already. I know somebody with 3,000 people applied for it right now. Yeah, but yeah, we're not going to do it. I just need to do it for my job. So hold on. As I walked through and I went through each and every resume out there as I talked and tried to make that connection with each person, I realized that sometimes the best people are in your own context. Hmm. Like, comment, subscribe for more LinkedIn posts. But these LinkedIn recruiter, man, they need to be stopped. They need to be humbled, okay? Because they are just out there, just like, how dare you? Just like,
I'm telling you, it's almost like what people used to say. Okay, so they're like the bouncers, right? We're not going to the club as much anymore. So LinkedIn, you guys are the bouncers at the club,
yeah,
or you're the
yeah.
bartenders. You think you're
Your
the cool
shoes,
kids.
your shoes are your resumes and stuff like that. It's like you want to get into this club. You want to get into the club Apple. Let's see. With those ugly resume shoes, get that out of here.
You're wearing flats, your
Mhm.
resume flats.
Right. Go in the. Speaking of that too, you was in Miami, and
It
it's a
happens.
small tangent, but I remember this one girl couldn't get into my a club in Miami because she didn't have the right shoes, and this girl was fine, like she was like a 9 out of 10. She was a 10. Let's be honest, because of her shoes messed up. They told her no, and she walked off crying and everything too. I was like, can I go in the club with you? I want to be rejected. Like I don't want to pay $100 for a shot of tequila. So
Yeah, don't let me in.
yeah, no, yeah, I don't know what their criteria.
Excuse me.
If she can't get in, I'll just go over there. Hey, ugly,
I'm not gonna lie,
you want to hook up?
I was that 9, 10 that didn't get let in. I
Mhm.
had a it was a while ago, but I didn't have heels. My heel broke, and so I had bought a pair of flops on the way. They weren't even flops, they were adorable cute sandals that totally went with my fit. I'm almost 6 feet tall. Like, first of all, be careful. Like, people be wearing heels to get to my height, honey. Okay. I looked fire. Okay. And they were not trying to let me in because I did not have a little chunk on the back of it. Give me a break. And of course, once you give them the little freckle, they let me in. But they were definitely trying to embarrass your girl. You know what? And that's funny because it's never happened to me, but maybe that's why a lot of people don't want to use ChatGPT because they're afraid, like, it'll cut off that like real. I don't know. I tried to do a segue. That wasn't it. Speaking of segues, they've got a ton of segues down in Florida, which is where I was. We used AI for travel. We were talking about using AI in our real life, real world cases that we use AI for, from love messages all the way to LinkedIn posts. So let us know if you're watching this on the replay, if you're watching a little highlight, what you feel, what you're using, what you love, maybe what you hate about AI. Talk data to me and let us know, are you searching like a user? Are you actually using it to like help with your intentions or manifesting or money? So, we just love to know what people are doing with it. Maybe you're using AI agents and you're all the way deep and making softwares and apps, and put us on, y'all. Put us on.
Yeah, I think if we could, I mean, we probably nothing's stopping us. What we could do is, because if we had people in the chat, that would have been a great thing to do. We could ask some people, some to give us some response in the chat, and then run it through ChatGPT and see can it decode it a lot better or something of that nature. That'd be really cool.
Oh, I like that.
You know,
All right, so we'll put that on the agenda for next week. We're gonna do some live chat GPT, some live chat GPT chats, and we'll compare them. We'll do chat GPT versus Claude and see who the best. Who do you use? Put it in the chat. Drop it in the comments. Have you ever used AI to write a message, to write your resume? Talk data to me, baby. Let us know how you're feeling about the AI and about, honestly, social media, the media in general.
yeah, yeah, that sounds great too. Like I said, yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue to use it. I'm not going to just stop. Now not going to stop you. Like I said, I think we've always used it in a type of way, a certain type of way. I think we've all have used some cut, some paste, some this, some that. We have all did all of this kind of stuff in a particular way. So we can't act like we have not. I don't get it. So, but hey, we're gonna go for it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us over here at Talk Data to Me. We will be talking to you every week about what it is that we see in these streets. Okay, if it comes across the desk, then it is coming into the podcast. Shout out to you,
And,
Chicago John.
and before we end it up, like, what did you learn? So let's try to. I guess we can try to learn something from each episode.
You asking them, right? Let us know what
I'm
you
asking
learned.
you.
I ain't learned nothing. We in here teaching, okay?
So yeah, now because we had different points of opinion earlier. You learned
I
about.
learned I learned about your opinion of something. I didn't did I learn something new?
That's learning.
Did I learn? You're right. I learned something new about how you use AI and how I am now going to think about using it as far as in the real world. I'm going to check out my Verizon bill and let me find out.
Right. And I've learned, it's not just about taking money and dropping it in somewhere. It's more about saving and having that saving become an investment. And then you make money off of more that you save. So the more you throw, the more you earn. So, these little basic little things
Thank
that's how you
you.
do it. So
All
that's
right.
what,
Well, next time, you put me on the spot, but I got you. I like it. I like it. A little wrap
you
up.
always
Okay. He
when you in
always
Chicago,
throwing
John,
stuff
you're
at
always
us,
on the
dog.
spotlight. Okay, so you want to be famous, don't you? You always got to have the light on you. As long as there's a camera on you, you're always on the spot. Remember that we're recording, we're making podcasts, we're making videos, we're making everything. We're on this. We're always on while the cameras are on.
I'm
Okay.
ready. I'm ready. That's why we say the ABCs over here in the crib. Okay. We will always be creating. So do not wait. Go create and join us next week. Thanks so much, y'all. Talk data to me live next Wednesday, 1 o'clock EST, 12 o'clock CST. And let us know in the chat, in the comments, in the highlights, wherever it is you're seeing this, how you feel and what you think.
All right. Look forward to seeing y'all soon. You guys know where to find me, Chicago John, on all platforms with Chicago John with a zero. You know where to go. So you guys take care. See you next time.